Hi, my name is Rebecca and welcome to my channel. Channel is named Desta Travel. Desta equals joy. If travel is not bringing you joy, you're probably doing it wrong. Today's video is going to be about Interrail and Eurail. What are the differences and what are the perks? We'll find out. So there is the Eurail and the Interrail. What is the big difference between the two of them? The difference is a Eurail is for non-European citizens, Americans, so forth. Anyone that's not out in the European Union, any citizen from that can only get the Eurail pass. And if you are of European citizen, then you can only have the Interrail pass. And both of those passes have different kind of packages which allow you to travel either from one country pass, or multiple countries given between a 1 week time all the way until 3 months time. So each pass has its benefits and a price tag attached to it depending on how many cities you plan on visiting. So the most common pass under the global pass is the 15-day pass for a month. So passes can you expect to get? There is the global passes that range from 3 month, 1 month, 15 days, 7 days, 5 days, and then there is one for 4 days. So they will allow you to hop on a couple of trains for those times. And the destinations that you can see varies. In 4 days, I don't think you can get to 4 different countries. It will be nearly impossible. So the other passes that they do have is the one country pass. The one country pass does not work for interrailing if you select your own country. So if you are from France and you are a French citizen, you cannot have a one country pass for France. It's not allowed. But you can purchase a one country pass for Spain or any other country but the one that you reside in. For non-European citizens, the one country pass, you can purchase that for any of them because you don't reside within the European Union. And within the passes also, one of the best ones that they have for one country pass is there are 2 regions that they will allow you to bundle in within the one country pass. One of them is a Scandinavia pass. So for the Scandinavia pass, you will be able to visit Denmark, Finland, Sweden, and Norway, the Scandinavian nations. So that is the one country pass that will allow you to visit that entire region for a specific amount of time that you pick. The other one is called the Benelux region, and it has the Netherlands, Belgium, and Luxembourg. So if those countries sound ideal to you and that's what you're looking for, then the one country pass that expires in about 15 days is most ideal, and that can range anywhere between 298 euros and higher. It also depends whether you're purchasing as an adult or a youth, and children obviously travel for free. So kids between the age of 4 to 11 are for free. 12 up to 27 is considered youth, and the youth price is what will apply. The price varies in between the age ranges. So children under the age of 11 get to travel for free. Children between the ages of 12 and up, then there is a price. Adults is considered anyone over the age of 27, so 28 to 60 is adult pricing. 60 and above is considered senior citizen. They do have great discount for youth, which is 27 and under. So if you are young and you're trying to get some travel under your belt, taking a Eurail or Interrail pass during your backpacking trip will be a great option because you will get a youth discount, and it's much cheaper versus having to do train, bus, plane just to get to your destinations. Types of passes that exist under the global pass, the time frame is different. Each one varies between 3 months all the way until 5 days. So it really is up to you as to how many days you want to travel and what kind of time frame that you have to be able to use the pass. The one that I did have is a 3-month global pass with unlimited train use. So I could use any train within their network without any issues. The only thing about the passes, whether you get a Eurail or Interrail, is the seat reservations. Now, if you're wondering what are seat reservations because you already paid for the pass, seat reservations is basically ensuring that you get a seat for that train. And some trains, like overnight trains, long distance trains, require seat reservations. And when it's peak time, you will not be able to find a seat if you did not book ahead of time. So those trains will generally booked, and you would have to wait for either the next train or the next day. And for the seat reservations, it is best, and I highly recommend that you go to the train station 2 to 3 days before the travel that you are going to take. So if, let's say, you got in on a Monday and you plan on leaving whatever city that you're at on Thursday or Wednesday, I would suggest you get to the train station that same Monday night or Tuesday to be able to go to the station masters and ask them to book a ticket for you. Otherwise, you won't be able to. There's a lot of places that say you can do it online. I've tried online. There's just no way of doing it online. And without the seat reservations, the conductors will not allow you to sit down, and I don't think you want to travel 10 hours on a train without a seat reservation. And some trains, if you don't have a seat reservations, they will not let you go on standing room. So no seat reservations, no boarding, and the conductors will kick you off. So the seat reservation is the only hidden cost when it comes to the Interrail and Eurail pass, because you would have already paid for the train. That is the pass that you have purchased. However, these hidden costs can kind of vary. The cheapest place I can say is between Portugal and Spain. The seat reservations normally varied from €3 all the way to €10. It didn't cost me more. The most expensive was in France and some parts of Italy. They costed close to €40, especially if I booked it the day before I was going to leave. So if you think ahead and plan ahead, it's always best, because that's how you're able to save some kind of money. Once you purchase your Eurail pass or your Interrail pass, you will have 11 months to use it. You don't necessarily have to purchase it today and be able to travel next month if you don't have to, or if things come up, work, school, any emergencies that you may have. The pass is valid for those 11 months as long as it's not activated. If you do activate it, then you have to use it within the time frame that you purchased. So if you purchased a 15 days, then you need to use it in 15 days. If you purchase a 3-month, then it will be used within those 3 months. Once it is activated, then it becomes non-refundable. If you have not activated your pass and you are approaching that 11th month mark and you want to be able to get a refund, you can reach out to the Eurail team online, and I believe they're willing to offer up to 85% of the purchase price as a refund if the pass was not used. And also there's a difference between them mailing out the physical pass to you, which is it looks like a ticket. It's a piece of paper. I don't recommend it because you constantly have to fill out each train that you've taken within the time. The most easiest way is to download the app, and I will show you the app towards the end of the video, what it looks like, how you can use it. It makes life much easier, and that's what I would recommend for you if you do choose to use the Eurail or Interrail pass. And once your pass is loaded on the app, it has all your information, your name, date of birth, and your passport is recorded. So it's something that it is personal, and you should keep that information private. It has a QR code, and there are times that they will ask you for your passport to confirm that this is the individual that is holding the Eurail pass, because they consider it as your legal identification to be on that train. So passes vary between first class and second class. Obviously, first class passes will cost a bit more money versus a second class pass will be a little bit more cheaper. And also your age range also provides you some kind of discount. If you're a senior citizen above the age of 60, then you will be able to receive some discounts. Youth also receive discounts. Anybody between the ages of 28 and 59, unfortunately, we have to pay the adult price, and there are no other discounts. So the discounts that we can get most likely, where you can save a little bit of money, is if you go under the benefits on the app and then you get yourself discounts on other amenities that you are going to do or visit, things like that, then you'll be able to get a discount. Outside of that, for the pass, unfortunately, there is no other discounts that is offered for adults. The best time to purchase the app, I would say, would be in April, because in April, in spring, is when Eurail is rolling out all of their plans, any adjustments that they would have made, any packages, any deals, and that is the time you can get up to 15% off buying your Eurail app ahead of time, ahead of the summer season. So if you want to be able to profit off of those discounts, I would suggest to plan early, and anywhere between March, April, make your purchase of your Eurail pass, and it will be delivered to you via email, and then you enter that code once you download the pass, and all your information will be updated and current. So you'll be able to use your pass and activate it as soon as you get on your first train, or the day before you get on your first train. Your pass will be activated. You manually activate it, and it will be ready for use. The passes can range between price of $98 all the way to $800. The $800 is a 3-month global pass that is unlimited. That is the one that I did purchase and I had because it was my first time interrailing. It was my first time on European trains traveling across the Mediterranean. So I did Portugal, Spain, France, Italy, and entered into Greece, and then exited out of Greece into Turkey. I did not take any trains in Greece, to be specific. I did use ferries to connect to the Peloponnese Islands and the Dodecanese Islands. And there is a discount that you can get under the benefits section. Because I had a Eurail pass, I was able to get a 20% discount on the ferry that would take me to Crete. It's an overnight ferry, and they're willing to provide you the discounts. The discounts sometimes apply to local transportations if you need to take local trains, if you need to take public transportation, buses, metros, and things like that. If you go to the information center and show your Eurail app, they will provide you a discount. So for example, in Porto, I was able to get a discount for my local transportation. So I received a youth pass discount versus an adult, because the adult would be much more, and I think I saved about 8 to 10 euros on the purchase price. So the Eurail in itself, generally as a pass, has other perks and benefits, but the general prices vary between $98 to $800, and in between that, the medium price sometimes could be, $298 up to $345, depending on what you call them. The cheapest countries to visit, as always, it's Portugal and Spain. And for those countries, depending on how many cities you want to visit, I wouldn't necessarily say for you to get a pass, because it might not be beneficial for you, because the trains there are relatively cheap. And if you're going to visit 3 cities and you're only going to take 3 trains, then I wouldn't recommend any of these passes, because the cost versus the benefits, the cost will outweigh. And it's all about budgeting and saving money. But if you're going to do multiple cities across multiple countries, I would definitely recommend any of these passes, depending, they can be tailored to what it is that you're looking for. So definitely look at what your plan is, what you want to do, how many countries you want to see, how much time do you have? Do you have a month to travel, 15 days? Do you only have a week to travel? All of that, you can easily calculate that out, because all the passes are listed with the price tag, and therefore you can calculate out how much you would spend. But generally, trains in Spain and trains in Portugal are relatively cheap. They have a pass for a one-country pass for Portugal, and it's only $98. So you'd be able to see a couple of cities in Portugal simply for $98. And most of the trains in Portugal, reservation was no more than 7 euros when you had to reserve a seat. My reservation for the travel from Lisbon to Porto only cost me 5 euros, and this was in August, which would have been considered peak time. So I wouldn't really recommend for those two countries. Any other nations such as France, Italy, Germany, and the rest, I would recommend the pass because the cost of the trains are expensive, especially on peak times. They do get pricey. And so if you are looking to travel to those northern nations, then I would definitely recommend any of these passes. Just check out Eurail.com or Interrail.eu, depending on where you are, to check out the benefits that they have, the types of passes, see what suits you and suits your budget and your plans.
Once you hit your Eurail app, it will automatically bring you to the page where you can see and plan your journeys out accordingly, right? So let's say I'm going from Nice to Marseille, which is a bit of a longer distance, right? Marseille, St. Charles Station, and then if you see right here, it says departure now. Obviously, departure now basically is for trains that you are standing at the train station and you want to know what train is leaving at the moment, right now, within the next couple of minutes, and what you can get on, right? But if you're planning for something in the future, perhaps a day or two out, then you can check your departure time by moving it to, let's say, the day after. For me, it will be tomorrow, August, right? And I'll put it for the morning or afternoon, whatever it is that you want, right? So you do so and then just plan the journey. At the top, you will find filters. The filters are basically for seat reservation, transfer times, and within pass network. Certain trains, when it's a longer distance train, you would have to transfer in between one train connecting to another train. And some of the train time, sometimes it is 5 minutes. So if that train is delayed, then you are guaranteed to miss your train. So always look for any kind of transfer time that is longer, or a transfer time that allows you some flexibility to get to your next train. So anything more than 15 minutes is great. I know some people do not want to be in a station waiting to transfer, but it's better than missing your train and having to book another one, right? So here it'll let me know there is a 7:57 train right here, and it'll arrive at 10:33. Now, if I want to save this journey, I could just right here and say click, right? But what I want to check is also the price on the side. These are the seat reservation costs. So seat reservation cost will run you from 12 euros for this one. And if you look down, there's a secondary one that does not have that. There will be times that certain trains do not require it. They're either A, running as local trains, so it might take a bit of longer time, or B, they're not classified as larger regional high-speed trains. So this one, for example, leaving an hour later, takes me to the same destination free of charge. So personally, I will take this one. So I will say save journey, and the app will add it to my pass, right? But it won't automatically add to my pass. What it will do is it will save it under my trips. So you have to go under your trip, and right here, you see how it says free, which means there's no seat. If you look down above, there's a big difference between these two. One of it is highlighted, the other one is not highlighted. Once it's highlighted, it'll go straight under to my pass, which then it is ready to be used. If I don't highlight it over, if I don't click this over, it stays under my trips as a wish list, like an ideal trip I'd like to take. So if the conductor comes to you and asks you for your pass and you show your pass just says that yes, you can get on a train, but specifically not this one. So what you need to do is just click this right over. That means this ticket and has now been added to your pass. It'll be valid. I will show you a screenshot of the pass. I won't go over to it now because it has all your personal information, passport number, date of birth, full name, where you reside, and everything else, because it comes up as a QR code. And I'm not going to show that on screen at the moment. But once you do that, then it adds it on for you. Now you're ready to go. Now, if I go back to my planner, right, and let's say I want to come back, the same exact one, but I don't feel like typing it out. What I can do is just hit this up and down arrow that you can see. Then it'll switch the destinations for me, and it's a return one. So I can look up which one works for me, and then I can click that and it'll take me over, right? So the next way to do this is, let's just clear all of this, and let's say I'm going from Nice, right? But the other destination I'm going to, I don't really know the name of it, of the station. I just know the town. So what I'll do is I can check the map. By map, if you don't even know the name of the town, right, you can go from Nice, and then let's say I want to go to Cannes. So what I'll do is Cannes, and it'll give me, did you mean this one? And I'll say yes. So once I click on that, it'll say, okay, these are the times, plan my journey. So it'll automatically populate from Nice to Cannes, see how many trains are available, the time, and which one require reservations, which one don't. This one is 27 minutes, it's the shortest one. This is 40 minutes, almost 36. It's longer and it's free. So if you have a couple of minutes to spare, you can save a couple of euros, you never know. But the best thing about this whole Eurail pass is if you go under more, you go under benefits. This is where you get all of your discounts. They offer from 10% all the way up to 30% discount on a ton of things, from ferries to restaurants to car rentals to tour guides to even hostel accommodations, right? All you have to do is type in the destination you're going to, and let's say I'm going to Florence, right? And in Florence, these are the discounts that's available for the city of Florence. So whichever one I prefer, I can click on it and then follow the instructions as to how to redeem. In some places, popular cities like Marseille, Barcelona, they will offer you a transit discount. So for you to be able to get around the city, you will be able to get a transit discount up to 20%. I got almost 30% when I went to Porto in Portugal, which I was able to get basically the price of a youth versus an adult, right? That's almost 8 to 10 euros that I was able to save because I showed them my pass at the visitor center, and then they would give me the information I need to be able to get that. If you don't have that and you just go straight to the train stations, the subways, the undergrounds, whatever you want to call it, and try to get that, then you won't be able to get these discounts because these discounts have to be verified by someone, and most of the time it's at the information desk in a tourist area. So when you come out of a major train station or across from a commercial center, anything like that, they will offer you your discounts. So always check these. Some restaurants even offer you 20-30% off to be able to eat, right? So for example, look at this one. It says Barcelona City Card, right? A Eurail pass holder, I can enjoy up to 10% for a 5-day Barcelona card or a 2-day express card. That's some kind of discount that they're willing to offer, and which is great because any discount that you can get, it means you get to save money that you can put towards something else that you want to do, right? So I always find these to be helpful. I've also been able to get a discount on a ferry ride that connected me from Athens to Crete. The ferry offered a discount of 20%, and it was an overnight ferry, so which was great. I didn't book any special accommodations like a cruise where I would get a bedroom or whatever. Those were a bit more expensive. They started off at like $140, and you would have to share a room. If you wanted the private room, then that means you have to pay like 4 times the price because that room can accommodate 4 people, right? So if you want the privacy, sometimes it costs a little bit of money. But I didn't need all of that because there's going to be an overnight trip. There's lounge areas that you can sit and just fall asleep. Your luggage will be taken care of. You kind of check it in at the front before you even board on the boat. So the discounts is great. All right. And hopefully this does help you. I will show you what the pass looks like and what the tickets look like as a screenshot to avoid sharing unnecessary information. But the Rail Planner app, this is what it looks like, from your planning area to all the trips that you have listed. So for example, my last trip before I left, my last train trip was from Palermo Centrale to the airport. There's a train that connects there, and instead of me paying a ridiculous Uber price for a taxi, I already have a Eurail pass, which means I already paid for the train, and there was no seat reservation requirement, so I was able to board the train at 8:42 and got to my airport by 9:30, technically for free, but I already paid for the inclusive of the train pass, right? And I've taken a ton of trains. If you kind of want to look at my journey, I suppose this is what it looked like. So this is how many trains I've taken all the way up to, so I started in Portugal and went right across and traveled all throughout Italy all the way to the bottom. So I started at Genova and went down to Sicily by train, right? And it was exciting in a sense. I enjoy train travel. So if you look, this was my train journey. All of these, I did Bordeaux, Marseille, Spain, all of those. And then from here to here, this is where you connect from Bari. You will connect to a ferry down to Greece. And statistically, if you wanted to see what it is that I did, then it's basically, these were the trains I've taken. Technically, the time I clocked in was close to 4 days and 10 hours worth of time I've been on a train. And I've taken 68 trains. It will say of 71 because I had planned out a few others that I chose not to take. And I've visited 39 places in 3 months' time, 4 countries out of 4 countries. So I really recommend the Eurail passes. I think they're great if you have time to travel and you want to take the slower route. Enjoy the view as the countryside rolls by you. I think it's a great way, whether it's a solo trip or if you're doing it with somebody else. It's pretty cool. So hopefully this helps you.
Let's talk about reduced mobility or any kind of disability. If you are a passenger that has any sort of mobility issues, then some of the trains I would not recommend, because in smaller stations they do not have an access for wheelchairs and so forth. Bigger stations generally do, and you notify somebody from the train station, an attendant, and they would be able to meet you at the train car that you actually boarded and get off, because the other station will notify them where you're getting off, and they will come to the train station to the door where you're supposed to get off in order to help you with your luggage and get you to your next destination or to a cabin taxi. But I would definitely recommend for you, highly recommend for you to research which stations are indeed mobility and disability friendly. Otherwise, it would be extremely difficult, because the trains generally have 3 steps that you have to go up in order to be able to board them. And if there is a wheelchair and so forth, it is not accessible or does not accommodate, unfortunately. So it's kind of hard. In terms of luggage space, these trains do not have that much luggage space per carriage. That is the one thing I did notice. If you are going to board these trains, I would highly recommend you pack light and get there early. The earlier that you can get to your station, as soon as the train is listed on the board, make your way to the train track so you can board the minute they open the doors and be able to have a spot to put away your luggage. Otherwise, your luggage is probably going to be right next to you, hanging out with your knee. And for the price that you're paying, it's not going to be comfortable. I would highly recommend that you pack light, and I think that is generally the expectation that they have, because they don't have that much space. Alright, and that brings me to the end of the video. Hopefully you did find it informational and helpful with some of the tips from my experience that I've had for traveling for 3 months across Europe. If I did miss any information, please do let me know down in the comments. I will be able to respond to you. If you have used the Interrail app or the Interrail tickets, please let me know so we can compare notes to see if they have updated these informations from the time that you did travel versus mine, or if you have traveled afterwards, which my travel was back in 2022, a year ago exactly. And if there are additional information that we can compare notes. I'll see you next time on the next video, and as always, if travel is not bringing you joy, you're probably doing it wrong. I'll see ya.